I think. Well, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I'm Bill Fountain. We face a sea of decisions every day, and it just stretches out. Some of them are like little waves of little importance, and some of them are big waves that have some big impact on us. And a lot of times we're essentially think about some of the decisions like, what politician am I going to vote for? Or should I take this new diet? So those are things that you have to think about. And we're bombarded with a lot of decisions every day. And a lot of times we know that we can't make a perfect decision all the time. So what do we end up? Sometimes we just do what we feel like. What we just feel like. We don't even think. Well, I want to talk to you today a little bit about critical thinking. And what that is, essentially, is a way to break down or to deconstruct a situation to find out what are the issues or what's going on. And some of those things we'll discover some biases, and some of them we'll discover some manipulations. Like if I want to go out and take the diet, it says, well, I don't know about that, because it may have somebody may manipulate me to buy something, some supplement or something. Or if I've got a politician over here, it may be a bias where I say, well, I'm just only going to go for the party. I don't even think about anything else. Well, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about geometry. I was used to be a geometry teacher, and my kids would say, oh, no, we can't stand proofs. Oh, I can't stand proofs. Well, proofs, geometric proofs, are a way to critical thinking. Doctors use them to do diagnosis. Lawyers use it to be able to win court cases. All right, so we're going to start with congruent triangles. Oh no, Mr. Fountain, my students used to tell me we can't stand those things. Well, we're going to do it because it's just like as a child, your mom told you to eat your spinach, right? Because it's good for you, even though it's something you may not like it. Well, geometric proofs and congruent triangles is something that are good for you. All right, so we're going to start off with. We can start off with a triangle here. Best that I can draw here. A, B, C. That's a triangle. And what we're going to be, the first thing is we're given is that this triangle, that we're given that line AB is going to be congruent to CB. CB. All right? So that is that's what we're given. But we have to prove that this angle A and angle B, so we got to prove angle A is going to be congruent to angle C. Oh my goodness, how are we going to do that? Well, we've got some steps here. First one right here is, what are we looking for? Well, we know what we're looking for. We got to prove that angle A is congruent to angle C. The next step is that we got to gather some information. What do we know about triangles? Well, if we look at these, if we can prove we got two triangles that are congruent, then we know the corresponding parts are congruent. All right, that means we can figure out that A and C are congruent. So how are we going to make a couple of triangles? Well, the first thing is we can construct a line that goes right down here and put that D, and I'm going to construct that line so it bisects these right here. So I'm going to put right here, real quick here, a statement / reason. Okay, I've already got my given information up here. For the interest of time, I usually write this stuff down. All right. So I put the given down there, and then I put it down here that I constructed VD construction. And what do I know about down here? Will I gather information about bisecting, like I mentioned down here about bisecting? What happens when you bisect something? You cut it in half, right? So that means that this line is congruent to that line because they're equal parts, all right? So I've got that down here, so I've got AD is going to be congruent to CB. And that's by the definition of bisect. So I've gathered some information, applied it, and there's some implication. I look over here, it says, how do I make triangles congruent? Well, we can use side angle side. Well, we can't do that because that won't work because we don't know anything about the angle. But And we can't use angle, side, angle, that won't work, but we can use side, side, side. Well, okay, we got this side, so we go to that side, we go to that side. What about this right here? Well, BD is the same line, which is what they call reflective property. So it's congruent to itself. So I got, where are we right here? I got BD, it's going to be congruent to BD, and that's because of reflective. So I've got my 3 ways to be able to solve this. Yes, sir. That means that we have side, we got angle, side, side, side. We can make these triangles congruent, right? So I got ABD, ABD is going to be congruent to angle CBD, CBD. All right, that's my side, side, side. And then all I've got to do left is do what? I can declare this angle, C and D, A and C are congruent because they're corresponding parts of congruent triangles. So that's the way we use, from a critical thinking standpoint of view, we went through all of these steps. Step number 5. Oh my goodness, what happened to number 5? It says explore other points of view. And as students, I didn't allow my students to go out there and talk to Jenny how to solve that problem. I want Johnny, who this thing we're talking about, he's the one who's supposed to solve that problem. But you, who you go out there and buy a car, or you go out there and vote for someone, or you're going to go out and take a diet, that is a very important idea, is to get somebody else's viewpoint. So you've got these 5 steps here of critical thinking. Figure out what the problem is, what you're looking for. Next is to gather the information. Apply that information. What are the implications? And we have to know those things. A lot of things we didn't know. And maybe one day I'll talk to you a little about economics, which I used to also teach. But apply the implications and then explore other points of view. I hope this has been helpful to you. To remember, so next time you're out there start to make a decision, don't go based on what it feels like. Think about it. Use your reasoning and think about using some of these steps. Thank you for your time.